You are about to join a club that doesn't have very many members in it. That one day they're a person, and the next day they're on this big Megillah called Star Wars. Have you talked to anybody about it? Harrison Ford or Ewan, what's it like you can't go into a 7-Eleven anymore after May 16th?
I mean, you know, it's odd. You know, you walk into a convenience store to buy a bag of chips and you can't buy the Doritos because your face is on the bag. But I'm good friends with Ewan, and you know, I had some of the similar struggles, you know, that he had in episode 1, and sort of having to deal with all the peripheral attention that you get from being in a film like this, and you know, all the advice that I've really gotten from him and George was just really not to so much embrace it, but just sort of find the humor in it, you know.
So how does it feel to have your face on cereal boxes and have your own action figure and things of that sort?
Very bizarre. Just weird.
Do you ever play with the action figures, like break out the old Han Solo and give him a Hayden beatdown or anything like that?
No, can't say that I do, but you know, maybe later on, I don't know.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
You don't do a lot of talk shows?
No, I don't make a habit of it.
Yeah.
But happy to be here. I watch your show. I don't want to screw it up for you, so
Yeah.
here we go.
They say that are there any nerves? Sometimes when you don't do it a lot, you're a little nervous or no? What can I do to help?
Oh, yeah. No, the nerves are just running, you know, rampage. right
Really?
now. Oh, yeah.
Did the cigarettes help backstage? I'm kidding.
My mom might be watching.
Yeah,
Mom, you're my one and only. I miss you dearly, and I hope to see you soon. I love you.
It's really against all of your better judgment to get involved in things.
And did you train for this?
I didn't. Well, I mean, you know, I had to get certified in, like, you know, whitewater kayaking and learn how to, you know, mountain climb and whatnot. But
So once you do it, do you do a lot of these challenges?
I haven't. That was the only one.
And then are you done for?
For a little while, yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
What's this picture?
That's me, like almost having a nervous breakdown, doing what I do. And we had to disassemble our bikes. I was after a mountain biking section, section, but more like a mountain biking, you know, pushing section, because it was all uphill. And then we had to disassemble our bikes, and I couldn't figure out how to do it because I just couldn't, you know, I had no use for my fingers anymore.
Are you crying?
I was near to it, yeah.
That's okay. That's a nice. That's a.
It's changed my life entirely for the most part. You know, you walk down the streets and people know who you are. And, it's a weird thing, fame. You know, it takes a while to adjust to. I don't think you ever get used to it. But
what question have you grown the most tired of answering?
I have to say one that I get a lot is how am I going to deal with the possible typecasting that I might encounter in the future from being in a film like this and from playing such an iconic role. And quite frankly, I've had enough of it. It's not a question I can really answer, you know. You know, my working situation is obviously much different, and my personal life has sort of been flipped upside down. But then you hold on to all the sort of consistencies in life, and those are the things that you cherish. So, you know, things like family and friends and stuff. I like my privacy. You know, and I can be a bit of a homebody as well, so it works out for me, so I don't really need to go and get in trouble at the clubs and stuff like that. And, you know, I just out of respect to my family as well, I just don't want, you know, me in that light, you know?
Know whether or not your scene in particular is, like, real or not real.
I don't know, but it makes me feel very uncomfortable talking.
So how do the Star Wars fans react to you now?
I mean, you know, it's hard to tell Star Wars fans sometimes, but the little kids, you know, the real young ones, 5 and 6 years old, they get a real kick out of it. You know, they can't really differentiate between, you know, an actor and the real thing, so they think they're meeting Anakin Skywalker, and it's a big deal for them.
Well, when that Star Wars thing began, it was an enormous hit, and people loved getting dressed up as the characters, you know?
Yeah.
They're kind of weird, weren't they?
I mean, it's fun for Halloween.
I mean, you know, when you're successful and you know, you do what we do. I mean, it's just sort of nature of life. You got people that are sort of after something. You gotta you know, be on the lookout for those ones. Come from a really competitive family, and you know, when you want to win at something, you're trying to take the title, and that's, I guess, you know, a form of that, I suppose.
Do you remember
any nerve-wracking moments?
Oh, absolutely. I was terrified. I was so nervous. I had butterflies in my stomach, and I remember meeting Natalie for the first time. I was a little overwhelmed. I remember in one of the auditions, in one of the takes that we were doing, I was very nervous, and I lost my voice. I got like a frog in my throat or something. I couldn't talk. And
I read somewhere that you threw up on the way to the range.
I wasn't going to talk about that, but if you want to bring it up, yeah, I was very nervous. You know, it was a big deal for me.
That's great.
What are your thoughts on sand? You're welcome, Reddit. You're welcome.
Well, you know, it's not very smooth. It doesn't really stay in one place, so I'm not such a big fan of it myself. You know, although if it leads to the water, I can tolerate it. But Anakin came from a desert planet, so I understood his contempt for it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I came from Chicago. I hate snow, so I get it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming by. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you, and everyone here just immensely appreciates your presence.
Thank you so much.
Everyone is so excited that you are here.
It's really good to see you guys too.
So, how does it feel coming back to Star Wars Celebration after 15 years?
It's been a long time. It's awesome to be back. You know, I didn't realize how much I missed all of you.
Please welcome Ian McDermott and Hayden Christensen.
Just said dark side rock stars. Because of your reception, thank you.
What a wonderfully sinister reunion we have here. It's fantastic to see you.
Thank you all. It's really good to see you guys.
Ian, George created for you some deliciously evil scenes. Do you have a favourite?